Slava Jesus Christus, Slava Navika, glory be to Jesus Christ, glory be forever. It's Father Basil doing another podcast. Hope everyone's doing well today. And again, I'm reading from this book, Light for Life, Part 3, The Mystery Lived, from God With Us Publications. And this part of the chapter is called Prayer as Recollection of the Mind and Purity of Heart. Prayer at this stage will shift from an orientation of obligation or the saying of particular formulas to one of attentiveness to the presence of the Lord, sensed in formal prayer in situations of daily life. The Jesus prayer will pass from being primarily vocal, done to quiet oneself or combat temptation, to being more mental, a growing awareness of God's activity and involvement in life. This should lead the person to seek a more mature appreciation and use of silence, solitude, detachment, and modesty. At this level, people are much more open and motivated to taking part in retreats, days of recollection, seminars and workshops on prayer and spirituality. By their study and practice of prayer, they become increasingly aware of their motivations, the mixtures of motives behind their actions, and the deeper reasons behind the decisions they make. Painful as this can be, the enthusiasm at this stage will help them to begin a process of purifying the more hidden and less respectable motives coming to light. They may begin to see a series of steps or events that lead up to the actions or responses to common situations which they have adopted. Awareness of this will lead them to enhance control of them at an earlier stage, at least when they are thinking of spirituality. Remember, at this stage, the channel in play may be Christ-centered or not, depending on a whole host of circumstances. Since there is an eagerness to learn and participate at this stage, it is the ideal moment to help the person come to a genuine appreciation of prayer in all of its manifestations. The liturgical life of the Church is one primarily focus. The person should be helped to a mature understanding of what Christ and the Spirit are doing here and now to each of us, the community as a whole and the whole world in general, through each of the services and mysteries. Great care should be directed at helping them appreciate the subjective as well as objective implications of rituals, signs, and symbols, and the personal and communal response to be expected by the Lord as He acts through them, i.e. their integration into daily life. The person's prayer should be tending to become more interior and contemplative at this point. The temptation will be to spend too much time on thought, to a conversion of prayer time into conversation with self. Since much is being learned and understood, the person can tend to reflect on these elements during prayer time, either thinking about the Lord rather than being with Him, or attempting to teach Him theology rather than resting in Him, listening to Him, and allowing Him to make a deeper integration. So, again, we're talking about our prayer life, our spirituality, our relationship with God. And remember, quite a few podcasts ago, I talked about where we are in our prayer life. So, remember, we begin as the first stage, beginning stage. We're right now talking about the adolescent stage, and eventually we'll talk about the adult stage. Okay? But contemplation, it's good to think about God. It's good to think about the things we should be doing, to please God in our life. But, the last stage that we will be talking about later is actually living out that holiness every day of our life without even thinking about it. Just living with God, resting in God day after day after day. Just, being godlike in our actions, in our motivations, and what we do every day. And that's basically where we want to get to in our spiritual life, where we want to get to in our holiness. Okay? So we will be doing another podcast another day. God bless you. Have a good day.